Guys. Hello, welcome to AHT, Akai and Hobby Talks. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, let's take it away.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait a little bit until everyone gathers and stuff and hang out for a little bit and we're gonna chat. So hopefully guys, everyone's having a good day.
Yeah, and it's a Saturday here.
Saturday. Apparently Saturday is a better day for you guys. I didn't realize that, but I should probably think about that for the future. But yeah, hopefully our schedules. I know. Well, I mean, wouldn't Saturday be the only day that would work for you then, Akai? Because like you only really have weekends, right? That are most optimal.
Yeah, so
Or
either Saturday or Sunday works for me.
yeah. I know we can technically do weekdays, but like I don't really want to bother you when you're like working, because
Nah,
I
I
know it's
mean,
like you're.
doing it on weekdays are really pressuring, I guess. A lot of pressure. So I have to manage time by the minutes instead of like hours. Yeah, it's really hard. But it's been snowing here in
Oh
Portland.
yeah, dude! I woke up today. I was like, what the hell is that freaking sound outside? And it was just like the shoveling, like just hear scraping sounds, and I was just like, what the hell is that, man? It's so annoying. And I was just like, oh, it must be snowing because it's like shoveling sounds. That's why. And I was like, God, wow, it's like so bright out.
Cold too.
Yeah, I mean, you can really tell when, I don't know about you, but like I feel like I can always tell when it's snowing because like just from my room, not even looking outside, because of how bright it is, like light shining in. Right?
Through the window. I see.
Yeah, it's because the white snow is like so reflective, right? So it just like freaking shines the crap out of light, like just straight into any window you have. So it just looks like 1,000 times brighter anytime there's like a lot of snow.
Yeah. And we're having like a winter storm too. So
Oh
it's
really?
like
Oh
really
wait, you said like it was gonna be like fucking like how many, like 6 inches, 7 inches or
six
something?
inches, seven. Yeah.
Holy shit!
I looked outside earlier and it's like covered in white, dude.
Well, I hope you guys are
Because we have
staying
like
warm.
a park next to my house, and then yeah, it's all white, dude. You can't even see
I
a
hope,
thing.
yeah. Oh jeez. Do you
Yep.
have to like commute or something at some point? Like, or you're gonna,
Nah, I'd
no,
rather
you're just gonna
not.
wait.
Yeah.
Is it just gonna be a few days, or is
Yeah, I
it
think
gonna be?
it's gonna end
Oh,
on Sunday, like by the end of Sunday.
okay.
But
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna
Do you
snow
guys
all
have
day, man. What?
do you guys have like those like city like snow plow stuff that happens occasionally or no?
I don't think so. I've never heard of
No.
it. Yeah.
Really? Like you don't ever have like your? I mean, I guess it doesn't snow very often where there, but I remember there was one year in my area where it was like so snowy. It was so like it was probably more than 6 inches. It was like a lot more
Oh God.
probably, and it was like so deep. It was ridiculous. It was like the snowiest year ever,
Uh-huh.
and I just remember like you could see like at night you would see and hear like the snowplow like vehicles like just going through the streets and stuff like that. You could see them sometimes because there was
Yeah,
just so
yeah.
much snow.
I think I've seen it once. Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people be scraping the streets and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Whew.
great.
But it's good to have a cold day, just stay
Yeah, I
inside and
kind of
do
like
AHT.
cold day.
Just chill, basically.
I hope our audio's okay, by the way, because last time we were kind of like I was kind of annoyed about how our audio went. So let us know if any audio issues or whatever. But yeah, um,
Yep.
it's cold, so I kind of like the cold though, because when it's summer, I can't be like it's just I don't like sleeping when it's hot. Like it feels bad.
Man, I
I
just hate
prefer
the sweat, man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You know,
Yep.
our audio's good, cool.
Oh, good. Thank you for the notice. Yeah. All right.
I don't know, man. What have you been up to? Anything else that's interesting?
I mean, just trying to stay warm inside.
Stay warm.
Yeah. Finish a lot of like work before this, so I don't get bothered by it while doing it.
Yeah, I heard that some people in Japan like got some earthquake stuff, and that's pretty
Oh
wild.
yeah.
So hopefully everyone's safe. I don't think any. I feel like most people here probably aren't living in Japan, but that's pretty. Ugh.
That's true, yeah. It's really about like staying safe. Earthquake and then COVID-19.
I mean,
Oh god.
yeah.
All combined.
At least, hey, here's the thing. At least, during the snowstorm, right? For you, at least it will make people go outside less, right?
Yeah, it helped.
There you go. So at least just have extreme weather so that people won't go outside to begin with.
So they don't have to go to like
Yeah.
family gathering and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread COVID, man.
Oh my god.
Oh god. All right, shall we get started on the topics today?
5 minutes? Okay. What do you wanna? You wanna start? You wanna start? We got some news for you guys. Some new like recent stuff that's been going on. So.
Yeah. First, probably gonna talk about the mods for what is it? PSO 2020, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So apparently on Twitter, a lot of people tweeted and talked about Nope's mod, and I just want to give a personal take on this mod and why it's such a cool thing. You have never tried this before, right, Hobby?
Well, of course not. You think I would?
Damn it.
I'm not a PSO winner. I'm not confused.
You're not a PSO person, yeah. So a little background. I wasn't really interested in this mod until I went to China and met with Nope and talked over the mod for a little bit with him. And apparently this is really his what is it, like a soul child or whatever?
Soul child.
Like, whenever you make a product that means a lot to you, right? What do you call that? Yeah.
It's just I don't know how to.
I don't know how to say that either.
I don't know.
But yeah, so this mod is really good because his style is based on a lot of powers and fingerless tricks and those in the same family. Yeah, but to me is I don't know, man. It's really heavy at first,
Of course.
and the body is thinner than I thought. Because like when you think about power, it's really about using like more of M bosses or a Kyoto body. So yeah, this mod is pretty good for his kind of, or for the people who use a lot of power or the style like go revolving around doing a lot of heavy stuff. Yeah, that's why it's heavy, man. It's so heavy. But the funny part is he talked a lot about the connector, like this shiny part
like
right here. Yeah,
the metal part in the middle or something.
Yeah, but it looks metal, but it's really not that heavy.
It's like plastic or something.
It is like plastic, yeah.
So did he? So when he made this mod, is it like did he get it like specifically manufactured for like specific parts? It's not like from all from different pens. It's like
Yeah,
actually
there
just
he
manufactured.
talked to me about this, and it's really how he wanted to make a mod for pen spinning only.
Mm.
So instead of using, because he stated that he doesn't like breaking apart normal pens to make a mod. So he came up with the idea that I'm gonna make a mod for pen spinning only. And apparently, this fits his preferences, but to other people it might be too heavy. Like for you,
Yeah, of course. I mean,
even for me too, it's really heavy.
Dude,
man.
if it's heavy for you, it's like so heavy.
I think it's more than a brick to me.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that people who participated in PSO, and especially for the powers category, like people like Zephyr or Dark Tea and all, yeah. So competitive spinning, I think they will fit this mod better than we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, it's really good. I don't really dig the camel aesthetics, but well, I mean, it's not red.
I mean,
Um,
you just don't like it because it's not red.
yeah, but it's good for spinning. But
It has to be red.
it
Okay.
has to see all
No
the,
path.
or I can spin it, man. But yeah, it's a good mod made with a purpose,
Hmm.
and it fits some people's preferences.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like I remember I don't know how much you can talk about this, but
Hmm.
you talked about it's like I know Nope has like his own philosophy of like approaching pen spinning or like pen modding specifically. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I just did a little bit about his
Yeah.
philosophy. Yeah, so well, he for his company, I don't want to get too deep into this information, but because I'm still waiting for him to do a public post or like an article
Yeah,
about
for sure.
his philosophy, right? But I was really fascinated by the fact that he got people around to do this project with him. So a specialized pen designer. He got to work with him, and then those two people work together in order to design a mod for pen spinning. That's his core. So it's
Hmm.
not other purpose, but for pen spinning only. So that's really good of him, and apparently he invested a lot of money
Oh wow.
to come up with prototypes and
Oh wow,
for the
that's crazy,
factories.
dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's a lot of work. I didn't think I thought he was just like, oh, let me just make
Slap
some
parts
a little
together.
no, not just slap parts together, but I thought he was just gonna like talk to the factory and just do like a run of something,
Oh
like
yeah.
how we talked about like keyboard, like if we want to do
Uh,
group buys for keyboard, you can you can
mm,
just like order like do runs of like a custom keyboard parts or something.
yeah.
I would assume it would be something like that, but I didn't
Uh,
realize he went through iterations by like testing several different parts and different like like that's so much more money and work. Like, oh my
hmm.
god, that's a lot of work,
Yeah,
man.
and the reason why he calls this mod elements is because every single part of the mod has like a meaning to him.
Oh, okay.
So he has like a story behind it, and why does it look this way
Mm,
instead of
that's
other way.
interesting.
You can see here like the tip is being protected by the grip that he makes so that it
Hmm.
doesn't move around. So it has like a specific purpose as
Yeah.
to why it looks like that, right? So yeah, he invested, and I I remember he said it took about when he went to the factory, he had to do at least 5,000 pieces in order to
Oh,
make a make a order. Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
so it was more than I thought. Like I was thinking about
that's
like 100 or like
yeah.
500.
I mean, it's easy. I feel like it's easy to be like, because I'm more like a pen spinner person, not really in the pen modding world. Akai is
Mm,
probably more in the pen modding world. But whenever I see like, oh, like the winners of the competition got a mod, sure. I'm like, oh, the modder made the thing for them, whatever. Cool, whatever. But this
mm.
guy just like spent like probably like several hundred to like $1,000+ just to like get
Yeah,
this
he
thing
said he
done.
spent thousands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a
plural.
lot of sense. I didn't. I would not. I actually wanted to. I feel like it would be thousands, but I didn't want to like
Yeah,
go. That's pretty wild, man. I
but
didn't
it came
think
out
that's
pretty
something.
good, and also he had to do some of the advertising for it too, taking good
Mm,
pictures of the mod, and
yeah,
really
promoting
like
and stuff.
putting it, yeah, promoting to
Does he
other
sell
people.
it still, or was it only like a run for
No, he
the?
has a Taobao shop,
Oh,
and
okay,
yeah, it's pretty common up there too.
so I guess if you want to buy it, you guys can. But
Yep,
no.
just get it from China. Probably it took me this order took me about like 4 weeks to deliver, so
Oh, okay.
it's about
There was no
3
red
weeks.
mod. There was no red mod. There's only.
I talked to him about that actually, and he said next year, which means 2021, this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
when he released the pink Sakura version, I was like, when are you gonna come up with the red version? He said, maybe next year,
Oh, okay.
with
Okay.
a heart.
So this is like Nope's version of kind of like it's like more of a pen spinner's take, I would say, of like something that is like you know all the old like pre-made mods or
Mm.
like Gigao or whatever
Mm.
like mods that there was like spin sticks and like like all that stuff. Like I feel like a lot of companies and stuff have tried to do that kind of thing and all kind of failed.
Oh
I know
yeah,
Mod Rod was a thing for a while too.
I like that
Um,
thing, man.
really, I spun it. I mean, I didn't really spin it, but like I felt the body. I could, but just by looking at the body, I could tell that was one of those. Excuse me. It was one of those bodies that like it's kind of like ball sign or something, where it's just like really slippery. It looks
Yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah. I mean, I didn't like the feel of the body, but how much versatile the parts can get. You know, they sold grips as well, right, for Mod Rod.
Hmm.
Yeah, but those are weird color, man.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't know,
actually,
man.
the designer who works with Nope on this project and in the upcoming projects, he's from Giga as well. So most of
Oh,
yeah, because
okay.
they work together. With Finger Dance is another pre-made mod.
Oh, okay. So they
Yeah,
have like connections in
yeah,
China to
yeah,
like
yeah.
deal with them. That's the thing about like being in China must be like really nice. Is like you can just go to the factory and just be like, hey, can you like you wanna
Or people who sell mod would randomly give you a mod. Because I was in a restaurant like eating after the competition, the
Mhm.
WPSA, and then
Yeah.
this guy just randomly came in and gave everyone an LED mod.
Oh, what the heck?
I was like, what the fuck, dude? What just happened? I was like, oh,
Those
cool,
are
thank
like
you.
usually LED mods. Do you still have it? Do you want to? Do you still
No,
have
no,
it?
no. I took it apart, man.
Oh my god! I would like to see it if you had it
Oh
still too.
yeah, I wanted to see how it worked, and apparently it works. I mean, the parts can be used for other purposes.
Oh, you just
Yeah,
took it apart. You're like, okay, let
yeah,
me take it
dude.
apart.
But you know, it has that same flaw where the body is too slippery, so I don't keep it the full mod intact to spin.
Oh,
The body, man, it's all about the body.
hmm.
But
I
yeah,
see.
this mod is very interesting, and I'm still waiting. And it's apparently he's doing good. He's doing really well. Nope.
Okay. Hmm.
For sending out this mod. These mods, it has different versions, different colors, but never red. Yeah, he sent them out and people like it. So
Cool.
cool. Yeah, what a heavy mod to be honest. All right. So, do you have any news?
I mean, so what I wanted to talk about was kind of like, and especially if any of you guys have watched any cool CVs lately, I mainly want to talk about whatever CVs have been coming out recently that have been kind of cool. I know you recently came out with a few nice clips that I really liked were from the Lunar New Year collabs from
Mm-hmm.
the MPSC, which is really cool. I like those combos; they're pretty cool. And I I submitted to a CV called Patisserie Chipmunk by Shackzip. And
Mm.
all these links that we're talking about, I'll probably try to make sure I link them all later in the description after our stream is over because I don't have everything. Because this is kind of us like freestyling a little bit, so we
Mm-hmm.
don't really have like every single link and topic prepared. But yeah, and then you remember N1716 third, right? That was a pretty good CV too.
Yeah,
There's
it
a lot of
was.
good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good spinners. Baron showed up in it, and I think Kevlar was in it too, right? I think Kevlar was in it too. That was a good combo.
I think yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was a good
remember the
combo.
guy followed me, and I was like,
What,
"Wait,
Kevlar?
no, no, no. The maker of the CV.
Oh, N1716.
What an annoying name to
Yeah,
say."
it's hard to. I mean, it's supposed to be like a chemical compound or something, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's like
yeah, I don't
saying
know what
like
it is.
advanced
Wait, that's
H2O or
not the.
something.
Wait. I don't know if that's the one. The other, there's the other guy on the other Japanese spinner who's like C something numbers something. That's the guy that is the chemicals or whatever, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a longer name, man.
Yeah, I don't know what. There's another Japanese spinner with like, which is literally like a chemical formula or something.
Oh
So,
yeah. I
yeah.
feel like whenever those names pop up in a CV, it would take up the entire screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just long name, and I can't remember them very well. Make sure it's under 5 letters, guys.
Oh god. Well, I mean, you can make it under 5 letters, but like I feel like when it becomes just like characters and numbers, it's just like hard to remember,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah, true.
it's just like how do you remember? I mean, unless they're like super famous with like a lot of like
Mm.
following and stuff, it's not most people wouldn't remember like
Yeah, or you
a
can
lot
take
of.
like a letter only route, like KTH,
Oh,
right?
oh,
Or a number only, 337, right?
oh, right. I don't
Yeah.
think people do like the 3 letter thing pretty commonly. Actually, I feel right. That's a
Mm.
common like kind of name choice, and then like numbers is not very common anymore. Only numbers are like really not very common.
Yeah, because you can't really say it to pronounce the name or whatsoever. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, spinner names kind of interesting, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of frustrating because my recent experience with trying to join new CVs and stuff. I didn't talk about earlier when during the pre-show part, but like
Hmm.
like I was so like sad about my own spinning for a while.
Oh
And
God.
Akai was just like dealing with me being like, why am I so bad at pen spinning? I'm just like, I mean, I'm less upset about it now,
Hmm.
but I'm still not like. I feel like you feel this way too, right? Like you never feel like you're ever really good at pen spinning, do you?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, that
Do you
happens a
ever
lot.
feel like you're
Yeah.
really good at pen spinning? Because I
Yeah.
never feel that way.
You never?
Well, here's the thing: like I'll feel proud of a combo, but I don't feel like I'm really good at pen spinning.
Yeah, that's the thing though, because like, I mean, it depends on how you approach pen spinning. And whenever you feel like you're not as good as other people, that's gonna make you, I don't know, feel bad about yourself
Yeah.
most likely. But
It's just kind of
it's like a training thing, really. Because whenever I look
yeah.
at people, with like higher technical spinners, I'll be like, oh shit, like I can never do things like them. But
But the thing is, you're like a unique kind of style, which is somewhere in the middle. I
mm,
like, and I feel like that's why you don't have that many people to compare it to. But for me, like I feel like my spinning is so similar to like a lot of RSVP MX spinners that like
uh,
it's just like you look at all these really good RSVP MX spinners, and I'm just like, oh my god, like why am I so bad?
you actually said like I don't have have many people to compare to, but actually being in the middle like I am,
Yeah.
it's really pressuring to me because like I have to keep consistent with like more on the aesthetic side, and then I'll have to learn like technical tricks too.
Oh, so
So
you have to do both basically, and
yeah,
it's
so
hard to
like
do that
I
balance.
have to keep one side and then learn from the other side to
Yeah,
be
I
in the
can see
middle.
that.
Yeah, so it's really I don't know, man. Yeah.
But yeah, my frustration with the CV basically, I know we got off track a little bit, but
Mhm.
my frustration with the CV was that the thing that Shackzip edited of my clip, I know he cut a lot of clips, but my clip was cut in a way that was exactly the thing I was worried about being bad in my combo. So it was just one of those things where it's just like confirmation that my combo was bad,
Wait,
basically for
didn't
part of
he
it.
cut like right at the part where you think it was bad or something?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, okay.
So
I remember you tell me that.
I was so sad, and I was just like, damn it. And the other thing was, like Shaxip didn't really make a postscript for it. I don't exactly know why. I feel like he was just nervous about him being biased or something like that. I don't know
Hmm.
for sure
He
because
usually
I just
does that
Google
though, right?
translated. Yeah, he usually does it, but he didn't do it this time, so I wasn't able to see his thoughts, which is a little sad too. But whatever, I guess.
Uh,
I
yeah.
mean, I have two chances. I have Workshop Spinfest, and then I have UPSB fourth. I'll probably film for. Oh, I don't know if I should say that actually, but that's fine. It's a. I guess some people care about spoilers, but I don't know. I
Uh,
mean, Kai filmed for Spinfest for VMPSC. Is that very surprising? So it's
oh
not really.
yeah.
So I'll
Yeah, and
probably.
apparently we had some problems with like the organization of the CV as well. And I talked to those community people, and yeah, I had to listen a lot. It's like they were trying to get their frustration out, and they told me like my opinion would be more objective, yeah. So I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, but I don't see CVs the same anymore, because like if I decide to watch, and I can be really really critical about it, and I don't want a feeling, I just want to spin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I also joined Neurospinner CV recently,
Tons,
and yeah, Trons. It was okay, but
tons,
like,
tons first.
yep, Trons first. And recently, yesterday, yeah, there's the Nachi first as well. So mostly
Right.
I joined for my Vietnamese people, so that
Hmm.
they have, like a cool clip, maybe cool, but good looking clip in their CV. But the thing is, they rendered in like worse quality than it's supposed to be. But
Oh
this,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like the you mean the Tet CV or whatever? Like it
yeah,
was like really.
that or even like a earlier one, you too.
So what was like the complaining or like people getting upset about? Like what's going on? Like why did you need to step into like?
For that touch CV for the entire VNPS, basically,
Mhm.
the first person that appears in the CV, Drakus or Drakes, he supposedly he submitted a second video for the CV, but the editor, he didn't look at it and he used the first one instead. So all the frustration coming from being the first player, but having like an older clip instead of his newer,
Oh
yeah, like a better one. So they had the trauma on the group and whatever.
man, that
So
sucks. I feel
it's like,
like I mean that stuff happens, but I feel like man, like organizing like I've had experience organizing CVs. I know Akai is not feels like he's not that experienced, although I feel like you would do fine honestly making a CV, but
hmm,
just because you like you've watched so much pen spinning at this point and know how things are done, I feel like you do fine. But like I feel like but what I was trying to say is like I feel like the whole like there's definitely like a social etiquette or something like that has to do with like organizing CVs for sure, right? Like I feel
hmm,
like there's almost like a certain amount of respect that you have to put in or to like deal with other submission to deal with
hmm.
people's submissions and stuff like that. Like I feel like there's a whole thing about that.
Yeah, and about like filtering and all that too, right?
Like
Yeah.
it's like a whole other thing. I've thought about making a blog post about it at some point. Like there's like a lot of little things about organizing like a collaboration video like that because especially if it's a big collaboration video.
Hmm.
I mean, I told you this, but I feel like the whole point about the best thing you can do as a CV organizer is to not piss everyone off, and that's your main goal.
Yeah, that's definitely true right there.
Yeah,
It's
but like
like,
it's like I mean
yeah.
it's simpler said, but it's like the thing about CV like organizing that stuff, it's like a lot of common sense in a way,
Hmm.
but it's not really common sense until you really like do it and have like submitted to things before. It's just kind of like I know there was like an issue. Well, it wasn't like a big issue. It was just someone was giving I think Coffee was giving advice to someone. Basically like if you were making a CV, don't just like don't just change the deadline to be like way earlier all of a sudden just because you're almost done the CV.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now other people can't submit. So what if they were trying to submit, like at
Right.
least keep us like a steady like deadline, like a solid deadline so that everyone can submit at this day, you know.
I think I've
I
seen
mean,
it happen where a CV was released even before the release date.
before the deadline.
Yeah, before the release date written on the
Oh my god.
announcement, because they were done. But what if people
Yeah,
want to submit? That's another
that feels
thing.
bad though, right? That's just
Yeah.
like don't do stuff like that. But I don't know. But like obviously in that case, like in the workshop or whatever, the one person that was giving advice, like obviously if you do make a collab video and you're organizing it, if you're always gonna start small. Typically, you're gonna make like Express CV or something, maybe with friends, or like
Mm-hmm.
make a little collab video for fun.
Right.
And we just it's like when you're learning that way, most of the time you're not actually. It's usually not a big deal if you do stuff like that. Mainly because like, oh, let's say you're just doing it with friends or something, or people don't really know who you are, right? And
Hmm.
you're just organizing a CV. Not many people will submit, only people you know. And what's going to happen is that no one will really call you out or say anything about it because it's not really a big CV. But if it's like a, let's say if you're organizing like a Spinfest collab for one of the communities, like people will yell at you. I'm pretty sure if you mess something up, like.
Yeah, that's what happened in our community for the latest
Mhm.
Spin Fest anyway too.
Yeah, like it's just trying to be nice to each other, I guess, just to be respectful to other people's like time and stuff like that. But I
Hmm.
don't know.
What in terms of CV, what do you think about like premiering the CV though? Because I've seen it
Uh,
happen a lot recently, right?
I don't know. That's a really interesting topic that I actually do want to talk about. Do you have any thoughts about? Do you? I want to hear. I want to hear what you have to say.
Me,
Actually, yes.
for
What do you think about premieres? I know. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about premieres too. Feel free to let us know. But
yeah, just let us know
yeah, but
in the chat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In the chat, I'll read it real quick and we can
Well,
talk about it. But yeah, what do you think, Kai? What do you think about
let
it?
me think for a little bit.
Do
I
you
feel
want me to
I
talk about my opinions first if you need time to think about it?
can we like shift turns? Can you talk
Okay,
about it a
fine,
little
fine,
bit?
fine,
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll talk about it first.
Just give me some
Let me get
ideas.
some water real quick.
Yeah, same, same. Man, but it
My thoughts
hurts.
about premieres are that personally, so here's the thing, like I feel like premieres are kind of cool feature, but it only works if there's a lot of people. So basically premieres have to have like a big audience for it to be enjoyable, I feel, right?
Hmm.
So I think like for big CVs like Japan or like something like that, like that's completely fine. But for smaller CVs and stuff, I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of like like I just like if it shows up and it lines up with like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I was gonna watch this anyways, or I'm interested in watching it. Sure, I'll watch it. But like otherwise, like I don't really care that much. Like I just
Uh-huh.
personally, I just want to see the CV. I don't really care about the live chat personally. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just old school because I know Premiere is more of like a new thing. So that's why I kind of want to. I'm kind of curious about what you guys think because you know some of you guys might be newer spinners, and I'm kind of curious since Premiere is probably more of a common thing for you guys now. Like for me, like there was never premieres in the past,
You're
right?
right.
Yeah, there was never premieres in the past. It was just like, oh, here we're gonna release the CV, and it just gets posted, and you watch it, right?
Right.
But now that there's premieres, it's like maybe it's just because you know, like it's like you know when like YouTube or like Facebook or like Twitter changes or something, everyone freaks out about it, and you're like, oh, I don't like this,
Ah, yeah.
right? So I feel like there's a little bit of that. Like you're just like, I don't like this because it's different. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think. Like that's a little has a little different perspective, but I personally don't really care for it much. Like it doesn't matter to me. Like
Mm.
I'll check it out, sure, but I won't go out of my way to watch premieres because that's not really something that I'm that interested in. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts about it. I usually like just like watching things on my own time. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I think about is really how pen spinning CVs work. You know what I mean? So back then they just released a CV, right? Just on time, and you can click it and watch it right away. But nowadays, like people use Premieres and all of that, so you click on a link, and then it says 25 hours, and I'm like, probably gonna check this again. So which means I think it's gonna tilt people a little bit, like people who are so hyped about watching the CV, but then clicking on a Premiere link wouldn't do it any good to me because I when I see a CV, I want to watch it instantly. I don't want to like, hey, it's in about 12 hours, which means that
yeah,
it's gonna be in at like release at 6 a.m. in the morning for me,
yeah,
and I'm not gonna like wake up and do that.
yeah,
it's
exactly,
it's really
exactly.
weird to me. I mean, a function. It makes me think about what's the original purpose of that feature anyway. So I mean, like you
Yeah,
said, like for bigger CVs or people in the chat, like things like Japan and like big community CVs are fine with premieres, but I'm not sure about like other maybe like smaller CVs. Like, do they really have to do Premiere in that sense, or do they want instant views or people to watch it right away? You know, but I still
Mhm.
prefer CVs with no Premiere because I don't really enjoy that. But for bigger CVs, I guess that makes sense.
I feel like it's been like it's recently been a common thing to do like watch parties almost because I feel like people like will get on. Like I know this happened for faucet failure when another CV I was in where that was made by Kevlar,
Hmm.
and we got onto voice chat and we were just all just chatting in voice, and then we watched the CV when it came out. I feel like that's a thing that people like to do now because I've seen it happen elsewhere too.
I'm not
So
sure
it's kind of nice.
if it's because of like people have OCD or something, having the CV release at exactly 7 p.m. to say like 7:00, so that they can schedule
Oh,
beforehand. You know what I mean?
I mean, the other thing is, even if you're on time, it'll still have a countdown, right?
Yeah, but just to make
Did we wait,
sure.
wait,
Yeah,
hold on. Did we even explain what a premiere is?
did we?
Did we? I mean, if
No,
you're
I
on
didn't.
YouTube, I assume that you know what a premiere is, but a premiere on YouTube means that you once you premiere a video that's you're already done, it means that the video will be released at a specific time and you can chat with other people live while you watch it basically. So that's basically what premiere is. But yeah, I
Oh
know. I
yeah,
don't know. iColor and Shane make pretty general, like pretty good points that you kind of share, like this a similar like experience
yeah. I
with.
just for me, I just don't want to wait 25 hours for a CV, man. Just release it,
Yeah.
please. Thank
So
you.
That's an interesting question. That Padres now, since he's doing the UPSB fourth, now he's asking what strategy would you recommend for UPSB fourth release?
All right, what's your tech hobby?
I don't know actually. The thing is, I don't really make like I don't make big CVs. Is the thing. I feel like I guess Premiere is like like premiering new CVs like the hip thing to do kind of. But
Let's go with the
you know,
trend, maybe.
yeah, maybe just go with it because I mean it is a big CV, so like maybe it'd be cool. But
Yeah, personally, for UPSB fourth, I think it really matters to the community, and premiering it is fine, I guess.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind it. Like I don't really like. Here's the thing. Like I don't really care about it that much. Like I just at the end of the day, I just want to watch the CV, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like I don't really like. It's just like oh, I can't get the premiere. Oh well, that sucks. Okay, I'll go wait until that time, and then I'll watch it whenever next time I see it or something.
I I remember like years ago, really, whenever I joined a CV or participated in one, and then I got a link right when the CV is completed, so
Hmm.
I went ahead and watched it instead. Now people be sending me like Premiere links, and I clicked on it, and it's like, hey, 7 hours away or something like that. I don't know. It take away like the joy of like experience and enjoy a CV like right when it's released. So now people all have to wait to to see what the CV looks like and how.
Like kind of a buzzkill. Like you're just
Yeah,
like oh,
yeah,
you have
yeah,
to
yeah. It's
wait.
like it's a hype thing, but then it kills all the hype because it's a
It kills
premiere.
like the
Yeah,
momentum of it, right? Kind
yeah.
of like.
But I
Hmm.
guess it has it is pros too, but also cons, I guess. But yeah, personally, I just watched things and enjoy it right away instead of like waiting, and it take a lot of time,
I feel
especially.
like we're getting a little bit off track. I know this is a very interesting conversation, but I was supposed to talk about my block writing stuff,
Yeah, let's
and I
go,
completely
hobby.
forgot about it. But basically, I mean, we kind of talked about. I mean, I didn't really talk about it, but like the CV etiquette stuff, like the organizing etiquette stuff, was something I was thinking about writing about, and I feel like that would be helpful.
Well, I
But
mean
I never
that
ended
makes
up doing
sense
that.
though, because we
I
talked about
never ended up
CV, and
doing
you're gonna write blog about that, right? So
Yeah, I feel like I don't think I've made that many blog posts about CVs, have I?
I don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I
mostly
feel like it's
about a lot
mainly
of
been
things.
about pen spinning. I mean, I've like made like post I've tried to do a postscript for one of my CVs in the past, like called a moment. Um But like I didn't really make that many. I mean, I guess it shows you how much I care about pen spinning. But
But CV is part of pen spinning as well,
yeah, that's
right?
true.
So
That's true.
yeah. So do you want to talk about like the future writing ideas for your blog?
Yeah, for sure. Like but my main like goal with writing stuff right
Mm-hmm.
now, I have a like kind of a list, kind of a backlog that I want to finish, which is mainly so there's a lot of ideas or like blog posts that I haven't quite finished yet, like that I need to finish. Like for example, in the last episode of the podcast, you might have heard that I talked about um, the critical thinking blog
Oh yeah,
post, I
you did,
believe.
right? You did, yeah.
Yeah, the critical thinking blog post I talked about, and Akai knows this, but basically, I first wrote it within like the first draft was like maybe like an hour or two of writing. I just like wrote it. I was like, I gave it to, showed it to Akai because I wanted to hear what he thought, and he was like, "Oh, cool, this might be helpful." 6 months later, I
Oh God.
rewrote the entire thing because I didn't like how I never posted it because I didn't like how it sounded, and then
And they don't even
I
look the same, man.
he showed it to Kai, and Kai was just like, "Dude, this is like so different now." But you said
Yeah.
it was better, right? You thought it was
Yeah, it
better.
was it was better, yeah.
Yeah, like the thing, like I guess the problem with for me is like when creating like pen spinning content like that is that it's just it's like I have all these things or ideas, but it's about the way you teach something is like really the important part, and I feel like that's what really um is different about a pen spinner that teaches something than a teacher that is good at teaching pen
Right.
spinning. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like the purpose of the blog or your blog is really, I say it's really like detailed and very well oriented. So I guess it takes more times and
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
so.
more time to really polish and like
Yeah, I
convey your
mean,
ideas. That's why it
it's
took
not
six
that all
months,
that
right?
glamorous, right? Like like a lot of people, especially new pen spinners, might think like, "Oh, pen spinning's so cool. You watch all these videos and do all these things." It's very similar for everything else. Like at the end of the day, you're literally just like practicing the same trick and just like failing at it over and over
Hmm.
until you get it.
Is it the same with writing?
It's kind of the same with writing, which is basically me writing a blog post, a draft, and then I read it over and over and over until I feel like there's no more mistakes.
Oh
I'll literally
God.
read it over and over and over, and then I'll fix one thing or fix another thing, and then I'll just keep reading it until I don't think it gets a problem anymore. So it does take a lot of effort to make blog posts, but it's also very rewarding. It's very fun for me.
True, true. Yeah, I
I
made a
know I
blog too,
kind of
right?
got you. Sorry, what'd you say?
You made me write blog posts
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
yeah. And I started a
yeah.
blog in Vietnamese, and it took me a
Mhm,
while to really finish one post.
mhm.
But
I'm
like you
excited.
said, it's really rewarding in that sense.
Mhm. Did you? I mean, you felt pretty satisfied afterwards, right?
Yeah, being able to publish something that matters to you and probably other people as well. But yeah, it's a cool thing. But like I said, many times, your post got me to the workshop, right? So
Right, right. You
it's really
basically talked
meaningful.
to me because of my blog.
Yeah,
You
dude, I joined because of the post, man.
but yeah, basically to give you guys a little, maybe a little sneak peek. What I have going on is
Hmm.
I might update the getting started with pen spinning videos article that's kind of outdated because I want to maybe make a better like I don't know, better information, or at least that article is fine because it explains what CVs and like PVs are and stuff like that. But the issue with that article is that I want it to link a lot of more things so you can actually go watch them instead of just like being like, oh, where do I look for pen spinning videos now? But
Right.
yeah, that's the main that thing I want to edit maybe. Then I recently wrote the brief history of pen spinning. I really feel good about writing that blog post. Actually, if that one was satisfying to write,
Hmm.
the brief history of pen spinning. If you guys, you could, we'll link it later at some point, but you guys can read it later in the description or something. But the blog post is basically a quick, brief history about just how the English pen spitting kind of community came to be, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's just kind of a brief overview about how like the journey about it really was. I know RPD is a pen spinner that has done a lot of research about history that is releasing a history textbook
Oh
basically
God.
of pen spinning that's way, way more in depth than anything I wrote. But the point of my blog post was basically more about like introducing people to the idea or like what actually happened and why the community is like this now. Because
Mhm.
right now we don't have a forum, right? UPSB used to be the website that English pen spinners went to, like English speaking pen spinners basically. And now there isn't really that website anymore because we didn't have enough funding for that website. So unfortunately it's down, and now we have the workshop, we have other Discord server, we have subreddit, etc., etc. So yeah, it's a fun kind of look. And I did have a few of my own like had a
Right.
few of my own like bits of information that I kind of got from being in UPSB and moderating UPSB during that time. So there's a few
Mm.
tidbits there. But yeah, that's I'll show you guys that blog. Put that in the description or whatever later on. Um, the big article though, the big article
Oh
that I
God,
really
I'm
wanted to talk
excited. I'm
about.
excited for this.
Yeah, I know you're excited for this. Is the article about style, and I know everyone thinks of me as kind of like the guy, the person who's like speaks English, the only English speaking guy that really talks about or like researches or thinks about style in like
Mhm.
a weird way. But I kind of wanted to make an article basically about developing your style.
Mm.
And style is kind of like a hard thing to explain because it's really like vague word, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think the easiest comparison to make for style, at least in pen spitting, is like an art style. If someone draws a certain way, that's their like style of drawing, because someone might
Mhm.
draw more cartoony, they might draw like, more realistic, like
Right.
still life. So it's kind of like that. Like pen spinning style, I feel like it's kind of like that, where it's how you do things essentially. And what's like what basic is, and like maybe combo structure or like what tricks you use would be like what methods of painting or right or
Dude,
whatever you
I
use
already
or like
know it's gonna be a big post, man.
yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I have like a very, very rough outline. I don't know if I'll even finish it this year. I might, but it's just one
This
of those
year?
articles that's
Oh
huge,
God.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's hard to organize in a
True.
good way.
True.
But
Yeah.
one of the here's a I won't spoil all of it, but the main one of the interesting topics that I did want to talk about was this concept I kind of came up with, which is the idea of I haven't found a good term for this, but I feel like this concept helps explain like execution a little bit more or refinement.
Mhm.
But basically, like style and pen spinning is kind of like the way you do things, right? Execution is basically how well you transform like the tricks to and how well you make it things look, basically like the aesthetics of it kind of,
Yeah. The
right?
look. Mhm.
Refinement is basically how well you refine your execution to make it even more like nice and stuff like that essentially. And I kind of feel like a good way to kind of understand refinement now is there are two types of it. One is a performance refinement, and that basically is all of the kind of subjective, opinionated parts of it. So, like, let's say, like, if I move my hand like this, or like I wave my hand, that's part of the performance. Like, I don't need to do this. Isn't required to like move the pen, but I add it to the pen spinning in order to act like exaggerate it or accent it or something.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of performance. And
What about the
and
other one?
finger
Mhm.
positioning and all that. There's lots of elements to it, but that's just one example. And the other side is like the more objective or like I don't know what word a good word for it like is like we talked about this, but I guess objective is the only really word I have, which is how stable your spinning is and how um, clean your spinning is in the most like straightforward, understandable way, more measurable way, essentially. So like
Right.
let's say the easy way to understand this is if you guys know who Kudo is from the
What was his name
JV.
again? Because I can
Kudo.
Kudo, yeah, Kudo.
Yeah, so Kudo is a Japanese pen spinner that basically has refined his charge to such a high level that his charge is literally like ridiculously circular and he's able to do a very stable charge for a long amount of time. So
Ah,
I
yeah,
feel like
and
objective kind of refinement is about making your rotation circular as possible,
mhm.
making your spinning as stable as possible, and all that stuff. Like that stuff like is more easy to understand. Like, oh, how many did you do a full rotation in this combo, or like when you did this trick? You can like really like look at that and like that's easier to measure than like, oh, how pretty does this look?
Yeah. And do you think
So
like
that
on that topic about like more objective spinning, it's more of like when you spin and your hand doesn't move too much as well, like your fingers or your hand doesn't twist or
well,
turn a
you
lot.
still technically have to move slightly, but
Yeah.
for objective spinning is more like just pure like perfect spinning in the most like technical way possible. And what I mean by that is just like nothing to accent it. You just do it like as
Mm-hmm.
perfectly circular with as many like rotations as like the perfect like 360 rotations ever. Like the no other movement from other fingers.
Right. Yeah. It's like perfection almost.
So Shane asks, what makes the performance side of refinement different from execution? Um, that's a really hard question to answer because it really depends on your definition of what execution is.
Yeah. But isn't like refinement part of execution, like you said earlier?
Kind of. I feel like I put it in a bad way, to be honest.
Okay.
But I forgot. There's a better way to explain refinement, but I didn't really put it in a great way, to be
Yeah.
honest. But
So maybe
execution,
just
the only
wait.
reason. Sorry, what?
Maybe just wait for the blog post so you can
Yeah, maybe
put
just wait for the
things
blog
into
post when I know
words.
how to explain what I'm saying. But basically,
Mm.
execution. I think the reason why I brought that up is because execution is like the broad stroke of like what it means to execute something, right? So I
Mhm.
feel like it's like the broad definition of everything that has to do with like execution, and then refinement is just like more specific, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's basically refinement is basically like a higher level, like a different level of execution that you can get to that isn't just about like just doing the trick and landing it. It's more about doing a trick in a very specific way. There you go. That's a better definition. There you go.
Ah, you got it.
There you go. There you go.
So it's
But
more than just execution, right?
yes, well, it's more than just doing the trick because
Mm-hmm.
anyone can do like a thumb around, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's how you do it is the important part. How specific do you get? How perfectly like what part of the pen are you actually holding it on? How circular is the actual rotation of it?
Mm.
That's the objective side. How pretty is it look? That's the performance side. How much risk? How much accent are you putting into the like the thumb around, etc. So yeah, that's a lot to go over. I know it's a little hard for probably to understand because it's just kind of me like kind of ad libbing it right now, but hopefully you guys will kind of understand it when I do write it. But yeah, it's just some interesting thoughts that have been bouncing around in my head.
Yeah, and really, when we talk about style, it's gonna be big and long. Like maybe even like pages of words in that
Honestly, I
sense.
feel like the article is just gonna be, "Hey, how to get better at pen spinning." That's basically the entire article. How to get better at pen spinning.
Yeah. But you probably know like I made like a series of videos about style too, so I found some difficulty in really organizing it and to really pinpoint which are the most important elements and
I feel
come up.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I
It's
feel
okay. It's
like
okay. Hmm.
I feel like the hardest thing about trying to teach what style is like trying to find the good words for it,
True, true, true. It's really hard.
because it's just such a weird, vague like topic that, you know, like to try to explain that it's just, but yeah, I feel like making an article called like developing your style, how to develop your style, is like basically telling you how to make your pen spinning better. So I don't really.
Yeah, and better is more of like an subjective thing too. So,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
a mixture of both objective and subjective things. That's the whole point of like the refinement difference of like the performance and the objective side.
Yeah. And I think a good example for the comparison or the style article that you're going to write would be about when we talked about mind and Samimo, right?
Hmm.
So they do practically or technically the same thing, but they really their level of refinement and the way that they execute things was easily said difficult, or I mean different. Sorry, yeah.
Hmm.
Even though they do the same thing, but then it's not the same because of refinement and the execution in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, V Strike says that there's something I didn't find a word for. When a trick is executed in a way where you can see the spinner did it that way on purpose, like the person expressed his way perfectly. I feel like what you're saying is like has to do a lot with what Tigris talked about. Very, yeah, intention. Intention is like I consider the way I categorize intention is a different topic for me, but I think of it more for that, like execute it in a way that you can see that they did it on purpose. I feel like that's more about confidence, or that the thing that Tigris talked about, which is a whole another concept. I know style can get all sorts of like, but there's like a concept that Tigris brought in called sharpness, and he felt like a better translation of that from Japanese is confidence, and that's
Yeah.
basically trying to convey how confident you are in intending to execute your trick in that way, right? So
Yeah, the
it's just it
confidence
gets
thing,
really
man.
it's really hard to explain, guys. It's really hard to explain.
Yeah, even like trying to get all those details together and into one big article sounds really, I mean, time consuming at first, but there's a lot we need to cover in order to
Speaking
fully.
about a lot that we need to cover, you need to talk about your motivation stuff now because we are running out of time.
Oh, goddamn.
Because we kept
Well,
talking about CVs and all that stuff. I know we're a bit like tangential today. I'm sorry, but hopefully it's still entertaining for you guys to watch.
yeah, that's all we hope for. It's not really about like my own topic or intentions, but more for you guys as entertainment, right? So
Mhm.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm going to talk briefly about motivation, but initially it's called motivation from solitude or being alone. So, like I said, I talked to a lot of people, a lot of pen spinners, and I feel like the time that I really want or have the motivation to practice is, being by myself, really free from other distractions that life has for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's really about when you're alone and free and you have the big motivation to do new things. When you look at other people and trying to learn new tricks, it's really about like being by yourself and a lot of like your style hobby. I think
Mhm.
you do a lot of self reflection when we're talking, right? So,
Oh yeah.
hey, this part I'm not doing it well enough, right? Or I want to learn this and incorporate it to my combo into my combo, and I thought it was really interesting because like that's what I do as well. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I would sit down and spin and try like on my own, try a really good combo, but realize that it's not that good yet.
Yep. Basically.
Yeah, and then like, oh, maybe this trick could be done differently to really convey or have a statement for that trick to say. Because I'm concerned about a lot for highlights in my combo. So it's
Give
like
an example, like give an example of like a CV you just like filmed for or something. Maybe it'll be easier to explain.
a CV I filmed for.
Yeah, maybe a CV you filmed for recently that you went through the same process.
I see. Yeah, so I sat down and thought about a good combo, but it doesn't like it never comes instantly for a combo,
Hmm.
right? Because we kind of have to improvise and practice along the way.
Yeah.
So that the way that I do it is to motivate myself to learn new tricks is that I would
Mhm.
put it in the beginning of the combo. I would put like difficult tricks in the beginning so I have the chance to practice and have practice
But it's
over
not
yeah.
always like, to be clear, like it's not always like a very like typical, like when you understand difficulty, it's not necessarily a difficult trick all of the
Uh-huh.
time. It's a difficult trick to you because it's new,
That's
right?
true. That's true. Yeah, it's
Because
my thing.
typically when you for combo structure and stuff, like if you put a really hard trick in the beginning, that's usually considered not very good combo structure.
True,
But
true, true. Yeah, that's why I'm
it's
not talking about structure, but more of like how I
just trying to
practice.
push
Yeah.
yourself to do new things, basically, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, so I have to think to myself like this is gonna be the combo, right? And but it's not gonna be the combo that I submit to CVs. So I tend to put hard tricks in the beginning to practice for myself,
Hmm.
so that I get to do it like right in the beginning instead of like failing the finisher. You know how it feels. You know how it feels to land a hard
Yeah, you
finisher,
feel
right?
the
So
same finisher over and over again because it's a new finisher.
yeah, I don't want to experience that. So I try to put it in the beginning to practice. But that's like the motivation for myself to really, hey, if I can get over this first part, I can do whatever I want, right? So it's like creating your own mental obstacle. So
Yeah.
you can get over it and feel good, once you
Yeah,
execute
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And with that kind of point, I did want to mention a little bit about something that might help you guys is this vlog kind of I watched of this musician, this professional musician. He talked about something he read that was really interesting for practicing, I think.
Mm,
And it's basically called the Goldilocks rule. And essentially what the Goldilocks rule is about it's about putting yourself in a situation and practicing something where your goals are the thing that you're trying to do is not so hard that you will become way too frustrated and not so easy that you'll just like become like uninterested and bored.
mm-hmm.
Like for example, like if someone tells you like, "Oh, if your challenge is to do a thumb around," well, okay, do a thumb around, like this is like one of the first tricks you learn. Sure. Like that's going to be boring. Or like if you're or competition to do a thumb around or land a thumb around properly with someone else, like that's really easy. Like that's not really challenging for you. But on the other hand, if let's say you never done power tricks in your life before and you're trying to do that for the first time, that's like really like, and you're trying to do like, let's say you're trying to do like times 10 and that you just started doing power tricks, like that will easily make you frustrated if you're trying to do times 10 because times 10 of a trick for power tricks is quite hard to do when you just start it, right?
It's
So
crazy.
the Goldilocks rule is about finding the perfect balance between frustration and just like just like no like just boredom, basically boredom and frustration essentially, and you're trying to find that perfect balance where your goals are very easily or achievable enough that you'll be satisfied essentially. And V Strike put it well, which is it's called the flow, basically essentially called flow. And you're just basically trying to find that perfect small steps, perfect little goals to help you practice so you don't get demotivated too much when you do stuff. And that's I think a good way to practice. But yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, that takes a lot of like thinking to really find the perfect balance
Hmm.
in between, right? So, I mean, it's a hard thing to do. So
I do
yeah,
yeah. I do know like do you find like being alone and like the self-reflection type of stuff and all that stuff, do you find it it's way easier to do that because you've learned how to self teach yourself a lot, like pen spinning over the years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
So I feel
and
like
I mean,
a lot of
alone time is really significant to people, right?
I
And
think that experience, because the reason why I ask is because I think that experience helps a lot, is because I feel like newer pen spinners, they're trying to learn how to teach themselves while they're trying to learn to teach while they're trying to learn pen spinning. Because typically when you're a new pen spinner, you're like 13 or something, right? So you're still kind of like developing your own skills or whatever, and you're still pretty young. So I feel like really learning how to teach yourself properly is like a very important skill.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the life skills in that sense. Then really, you have to learn and you have to teach yourself and be proficient with the skill and get better. I guess get better. Keep telling yourself to get better, and that's what I do personally.
I try to get better. We both try. I know we're old, but I'm trying to get better, even though I still feel like I'm bad.
I still feel like my back hurts.
I feel like I'm bad at pen spinning, guys. Too old.
Oh god, but you should be motivated, man. Stay
I'll try.
motivated.
Goldilocks rule, man. I gotta stay.
Yeah. But really, what's fun is that we're all learning tricks in one way or another, right? So it doesn't really matter like how difficult the tricks are, but more of like we're still constantly improving and getting better by learning, and especially having the motivation to do so is for me is really about staying alone and self-reflection, all that. Yeah. Yep. And that
Yep.
should cover the topics for today's stream.
You want me to wrap it up, or do you want to do it?
Yeah, you can wrap it up, Hobby.
Okay.
All right.
So, thank you everyone for watching. I know it's a bit of a little slower day. We talked a lot about different stuff and lots of tangential topics, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. If you guys want to follow us and keep track of the next stream next month, we are going to try to stream every month. If that wasn't clear, follow us on at Akai Hobby Talks on Twitter and Instagram, and then you'll see us announce our live stream dates as soon as we can. And if you also want to join the workshop, you can join that, and we should have announcements there as well. So hopefully we'll catch you next time, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us as well. Yeah. And wait, do you want to talk about the days that we're going to stream? Because like we have the different scheduling. Sometimes it's
Right now?
on Saturday or Sunday, right?
Right now, you want to talk about the scheduling?
No. It's about like we're not gonna stream on all Sundays. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, yeah. Well, so yeah. I forgot to mention is that basically our scheduling is going to change. Will probably change from month to month depending on when we're available. But our goal is to pretty much stream every single month, at least once. So that's the main goal. So it's not so much about like we have to stream on this particular day every month. It's more about we're gonna think about a good time for both of us to talk and get on and do the podcast, and hopefully we'll find a good time and then we'll be able to do it that month. And that's pretty much what we did this month as well. And we're just going to find a good day. But I did hear that Saturday is a good day for a lot of other people, so we could be doing Saturdays more. So
sounds good. Yeah. And Baron said he just got here.
yeah. I'm sorry.
All right, man. It's still pretty cold here, man.
It's really warm for me now because I have like a heater here.
Oh god.
Yeah, look at this setup right here, dude. I have like
a good heater.
Well, actually, you guys can't see it because it's the end screen, but
Yeah.
actually, I should turn off my camera because I'm lagging really hard. So.
All right.
We'll just chat. Let's hang out a little bit, guys.
It's all about the after show ramble, guys.
After show, let's go. This is my. I don't think I've said this yet on stream properly, but since the last time, my favorite part about doing the podcast is the very beginning of the podcast and the very end. Is because we get to say like all sorts of shit. We get to say whatever we want, really, because
Yeah.
we don't have like a topic plan. But I feel like today we kind of like went on lots of different tangents anyway, so it's kind of fun overall.
I think I like the way that we're doing it today. We kind of branch off to different topics under one big topic, right? And I think it's really valuable to me to to talk about more about the topics as well as the supplemental information. So yeah, at the end, do you have anything else to say?
I don't really have anything particular I want to say, but I just want to hang out for a bit.
I mean, I was afraid that you couldn't wake up to our stream.
Oh, really? I mean, I know you were able to wake up because for some reason you've been sleeping at like 6 a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to work like in 2 hours or something. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Don't do that, please.
You feel like you have I feel like two.
What?
I'm not sure what I'm trying to read what V-strike says, but I'm not sure what that sentence means. I feel like have too strict of a structure. Oh, you feel like having too strict of a structure is too forced? Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, God. Oh, is it a combo structure?
No, I think he's talking about the podcast structure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Because in the past, like I know we tried to structure a lot. I know we are technically structuring it in like a very specific topics, and I'm like, oh, we should talk about this, before we run out of time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just we did go on tangents. We got to talk about what we want. So at the end of the day, I think it's still pretty good. Hopefully, it doesn't sound too forced for this. This podcast.
We just have like general topics, and we can like talk all about it. I think it's more natural that way. Just to remember how many topics that we have, and that's more of like for the timing, right? For the duration of the stream, so we have a structure so that it accommodates the time rather than just the topic itself, right? Yeah. How do you guys live like that?
I think he's talking about sleeping super late.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah,
you just have a lot of motivation.
Well, I mean, it's not about motivation. I think it's about shit. I have to go to work.
Oh shit! Gotta be an adult again. That kind of thing.
I can't spin pens all day in my mom's basement.
Right, man. It's kind of depressing though.
I know. Did you see that tweet that Tigres made recently?
Which one?
It said I watched SpongeBob after in over a decade or something like that, and Squidward deserves better. It's so depressing. That was his tweet.
Oh god, yeah, man.
I was just like, damn. I feel for Squidward sometimes for sure. Portrait artist, man, and he's bad at his art too. Like he's bad at playing clarinet and stuff like that, and he's just like trying so hard, but he just gets shit on the entire time.
Wait, who? Juice?
No, Squidward, dude.
Oh, Squidward. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm uncultured, man. I'm not cultured.
Have you not watched? Wait, whoa. Have you not watched SpongeBob?
No, I watched it as a kid, but I don't remember anything by now.
Okay.
You know, I know about SpongeBob, but it's not. It didn't stick to me. It didn't stick to me as my childhood memories. Okay.
Squidward has the personality of a pen spinner. Yeah. But even when I was younger, I honestly kind of felt bad for Squidward, to be honest.
God damn.
Because I don't know if you noticed this, but what's it called? The what's it called? What was I gonna say? The whole show SpongeBob is like the SpongeBob itself. I feel like is a satire on like just being an adult.
And how it feels like.
Yeah, how it feels like it being an adult. For example, because SpongeBob is basically an adult with his own house and everything, but he works at a freaking fast food place.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Like has to deal with like shitty neighbors, and then he's trying to be an artist, but he also works at a fast food place, and it's just kind of like it's like the most depressing like symbolism of like adult life ever in actuality. I know it's like a fun TV show, but I realized later as I grow, like recently, that's basically what SpongeBob is, right? It's just like making fun of what adult life really is.
God damn. But I guess it's entertaining for people to watch, so that's a good show.
It helps me for English, so.
Yeah, Mavis. I mean, not
No,
Mavis. Messi. Sorry. Okay. Because they all start with me, dude. Like, I mean, when I was earlier in my pen spinning days, I couldn't remember which one is which.
Really? You confuse those?
Because the name only. But now,
Mavis.
I it's easy now.
Oh, apparently it's not easy because you just said Neves instead of Messi.
Oh god, maybe I watch Mavis more than Messi. Sorry, man.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, man. Wait. Maybe Messi doesn't post that much compared to
Oh,
Mavis.
that's a good point, actually. I know Neves posts a lot of pen spinning videos a lot more.
Yeah, so it just pops up on my tweet, so yeah.
Squidward is the embodiment of when adults take themselves too serious. Yeah, I would say so. I don't know if you guys have seen those episodes, but there's a few episodes where Squidward actually has a happy ending. Like, I don't know if you guys remember those episodes, but I do remember a few episodes where Squidward actually gets what he wants at the end.
But Baron made it very funny.
I know.
Because I remember you talk
like
about
Squidward. I think he was trying to write an orchestral score or something. Like Squidward was trying to make an orchestral score, and SpongeBob and Patrick were like trying to bother them. Like they were playing around in their backyards and or their front yard and stuff, and basically bothering Squidward as he was trying to write his orchestral score for this competition or whatever. Right? And at some point he was just yelling at him, and eventually he started writing all the sounds that he was hearing onto the orchestral score. So all of a sudden there's just like SpongeBob laughing inside in the freaking sheet music. So then he goes to like do the conducting stuff, and he does all the thing, and everyone liked it even though it was really weird. So I don't know, man. Sometimes it works out. I do remember that. I don't know if you guys remember that episode, but.
Oh. All right. I think it's hitting the
Okay, guys,
1 hour and
we've been
20 minutes
talking a
mark. Yep.
I think we're gonna take a break. We've kind of dragged this on a little bit longer. I hope we gave the entertainment to Baron, enough, because I know you came a little bit late. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye. I'll see you guys later.
See you next time.